racers, welcome to the eRacing Association, where you have the chance to win $5,000 in one of the best tournaments in all of sim racing. Green flag in the air.
Are you ready to reach the next level of sim racing? The eRacing Association's epic Omega Cup Series lets you win big.
Is he gonna throw the block?
Racing with ERA lets you compete for huge cash prizes, get exclusive merch, exclusive sim hardware pricing, and potentially turn your virtual dreams into reality. Feel the rush as you race door to door against sim racers just like yourself, all from the comfort of your own home.
Straight away, they're an idiot. Oh, they're wrecking! They're wrecking!
Join now to get your membership and experience all of the excitement that the eRacing Association has to offer at www.eragaming.gg.
Celebration, he hangs on.
You can't tell the story of America without telling the story of the automobile. And you can't tell the story of the automobile without telling the story of NASCAR.
And there's a fight.
It's the personalities, it's the drivers, it's all of it.
This is the perfect illustration of the American dream.
It's also great for America.
They lived on the edge, and their driving lived on the edge as well.
Both America and NASCAR were born with a healthy dose of you.
America's here because of a bunch of rebels. NASCAR is here because of a bunch of rebels.
You feel it in your chest. It's everything that they say it is.
Gentlemen, start your engines. We ask God's blessings on the drivers, NASCAR fans, and on our great nation.
This was unbelievably dangerous.
One of America's great pastimes.
Racing is in people's blood, something that is passed down like cufflinks or a shotgun.
One of the things I'm most proud of about NASCAR is how patriotic we are.
This is the quintessential American sport. It's part of what we do.
For the nation, I think it shocked people.
He was true America.
You are what you are where you came from.
The race is on.
Oh, thank you so much.
I don't think there's any way you can tell the story of America without involving NASCAR.
You either get bigger or you get smaller. You can't stand still.
You damn right. Hell of a drive, man.
NASCAR Americana, a special 3-part docuseries, begins August 9th, only on USA.
It's Dystany Spurlock, and thank you for joining in at Drafting the Circuit.
Hey guys, I'm Indy Next champion Dennis Hauger, and you're watching Drafting the Circuits.
INDYCAR racing is the fastest racing on Earth, period. From day one, it's been about the fans, the drivers, and the challenge of competing at 240 miles per hour, from city streets to super speedways and everything in between. A feat that requires constant evolution, pushing and testing the boundaries of both driver and machine to find the limit and then blitz straight past it. Now, this tradition of unbridled speed, innovation, and downright badassery races forward once again. Meet the IR28. The design for the new IR28 started decades ago. Every race, every incident, every single edition studied to make the best car possible. And no, the old car didn't just get a facelift. Where's the fun in that? This rocket ship on wheels was redesigned and rebuilt from the ground up to give us a car that increases top speed, allows for more on-track action, and keeps the drivers safer than ever. New gearbox, new hybrid system, new chassis design, maybe even some new track records. Right away, you'll recognize the silhouette as unmistakably INDYCAR. And as you take a closer look, you'll see redesigned side pods with new intakes, new front and rear wing designs, and aerodynamic improvements to the body, which all come together to allow for even more wheel-to-wheel action at insane speeds. Speaking of speed, this car was purpose-built to make history at the racing capital of the world.
A new track record.
A new transparent engine cover will allow the fans to get a peek at the twin-turbo V6 power that runs these cars. And the return of the position display will keep fans up to date and in the know, every second, every race. The IR28 is a looker, but what you don't see is just as impressive as the rest. Along with more horsepower, this car will come in about 100 pounds lighter than the DW12. With that improved power-to-weight ratio comes enhanced drivability for our drivers, allowing them to push harder. Speaking of drivers, the new cockpit was completely redesigned to accommodate a greater range of driver heights and body types, and re-engineered to be the safest monocoque in racing. And this is just the beginning. 2028 will show us what it looks like when the world's best drivers unleash this highly engineered, sleekly designed beast on wheels. The IR28 is here to break records, make legends, and treat us to one hell of a show. Welcome to INDYCAR. Welcome to the fastest racing on Earth.
The movie, news, television promos and trailers used in this production are protected by the Fair Use Act. Section 107 of the Copyright Act. 1. The purpose and character of the use. 2. The nature of the copyrighted work. 3. The amount and substantiality of the portion taken. And 4. The effect of the use on the potential market. Thank you.
Start your
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to another edition of Drafting the Circus, brought to you by Sinista1 Productions. My name is Frank Santoroski. I'll be your host for the next hour as we talk about everything racing this past week and preview next week. Joining me, Richard Youden and Jessica Chezrony. Say hi. Hi. Jessica has her camera off, but she'll be with us momentarily. Glen Reen.
Is it still off? I think it's on.
I don't see you.
Okay.
We're good. Yeah.
Okay. I guess maybe it's just me.
Oh, you're off again.
Can't see you.
Oh, now you're on again.
Oh, there you are.
Okay.
Okay.
Yay.
Anyway, so special thanks to the ERA Racing Association with their venture with Jesse Iwuji and Emmit Smith. Thank you to USA Sports, their film, NASCAR Americana three-part miniseries, going to be broadcast beginning on August 9th. And also thank you to Grey.Universe with their film, The Kaiser, coming out soon. Now, Glen Reen will be joining us shortly. I know we advertised Glen Reen would be here, but he's stuck in traffic like a lot of race car drivers. When you're on the lead lap, sometimes you just hit that traffic, and then you can't get around the traffic because these guys think they're fighting for a win and they're fighting for last place and they're right in front of the leaders. So anyway.
It's good experience. He's just practicing his craft. Good racing.
Yeah. So we'll just dive into some other topics here. So last week we showed the unveiling of the new INDYCAR. So this week they've been testing that car. They've got Alex Palou and Alexander Rossi as the drivers for the test. So they picked one Honda guy, one Chevy guy. Now the important thing to note here is we're testing the new car. The new engines are not available yet. The engine they're using is actually a 2.2-liter Ilmor engine back from when they were thinking about changing the engine specs in 2022. They had built a couple of those prototype engines that were not used. So that's what we're using for the testing there. So, so it's without the hybrid, so it's probably a little less weight than the actual car is going to be. But for all intents and purposes, both Rossi and Palou are highly impressed with the car. So, Jess, You get a chance to look at any of the test footage and.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's so cool to finally see that car on track, this mythical new car that we've been hearing about for so long. And to me, it's just very cool, like how quickly we went from, releasing the renderings to like, then we saw the real thing and then it was on track. So
yeah, I thought once we saw the renderings, it would be another 6 months till we saw the car. There's the renderings one day, cars out the next. That was pretty good marketing on their point to do that, to not keep us waiting.
Yeah,
because we've been waiting for how many years for a new car?
It's been a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute or 12. But I mean, I think it looks great. I mean, I say this all the time, but I don't understand all of the people on the internet that just want to complain and like not.
You've used the internet before, right?
I have.
Okay.
To my great dismay,
you've interacted with INDYCAR fans before, right?
Yes.
INDYCAR fans.
And I don't know.
To bitch.
Maybe it's like more prevalent to me now. Frank, you and I both being admins in the Elite INDYCAR fan group, so like maybe I feel like I just see the complaining more because we see every post that goes up in that group. But I just like there's just so many like armchair aerodynamicists.
Oh yeah, they should have done this and that front wing. What are they doing with that?
Right. Like if only they'd done this and this, it would have been perfect. And I was so happy I got to respond to someone with my favorite phrase of all time. If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike. Like it's just that's not what it is. And you're not an aerodynamicist.
I still don't think she would have beaten
up.
an INDYCAR. I still don't think she'd been fast enough.
Oh, probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. So.
But yeah. Anyways, I think it looks great. I think it looks mean. I think it looks aggressive. I think it looks fast. Even though, the test days over the weekend were plagued by rain.
Which they did some running in the rain though, which is it's important to get the feel of the car in the rain as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think maybe for the first test out, they would have preferred drier conditions. And I saw that Palou did get back out yesterday and run in the dry, which was not originally planned, but they had a window.
Yeah, he did 28 more laps yesterday.
Yeah, like 20 some laps. So yeah, I mean, not a ton of laps, but it sounded like they accomplished what they wanted to, and just that initial running. And anytime Alexander Rossi walks out of a garage with a smile on his face, I feel like we're in good shape.
Something's right in the world. Yeah,
everything's right in the world.
He's hard to please, and he's been pretty vocal about the the current car and the hybrids and these sort of things. So
yeah, and
but he gave the car high marks.
He did, and I think he was a great choice. I believe I heard that like the manufacturers actually chose the drivers. So Chevy chose him and Honda chose Palou. I think Rossi was a great choice, just for the fact that we know that he's going to be brutally honest. He's he's not going to mince words. He's going to say what he really thinks. And we don't know what he said behind closed doors, but everything that he said publicly was very positive. And I think, he has a lot of experience in this car. And also, let's not forget, like, he came from the Formula One world and doing a lot of like testing and development with teams over there. So, he's used to this sort of like iterative work and giving feedback to the engineers, and I think he's great at all of that. So I thought he was a fantastic choice. Palou, obviously, like, everything. So
but it took them a long time to pick him, didn't it?
Yeah, right. Yeah, really got to go over our choices here, make a pros and cons list. Anyways, yeah, everything sounded positive. I wish I could have been there to see it. Everyone is saying that this car is probably going to end up breaking records.
Yeah.
Like you said, it didn't have the new engine. in it. It didn't have the hybrid unit. And you have to imagine that, you know, like the first time they're taking this car out on the track, like they're not pushing. There's only one of it. We can't crash it. And like they were clicking off some pretty serious laps, like pretty like close to pole speed from the 500.
I think we're going to see some track records fall, or
I think so too.
Or in some case, we're going to get really close to some of the speeds we had in the 90s, you know.
Yeah.
Because like the track record at Road America is still held by Dario Franchitti from 1999, you know. So, and we're really close to the track records now, but I think the weight reduction alone is just going to push us over.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 100 pounds is a lot. And I think just the fact that like this chassis is built and balanced for the weight of the hybrid, whereas it was, you know, just bolted on to the other one. So, yeah, I'm super positive about all of it. I think it's I'm excited. I think we're heading in a good direction. It's nice to see that, you know, I mean, they could have put it out on the track and it could have been a colossal failure. Like,
oh yeah,
you know, and they only had a couple of little problems. And so I think that's, you know, obviously early days, but I think those are all good signs. And I'm sure that the team at Dallara has to be very proud of what they've done, and the folks at INDYCAR for pushing this, you know, closer to the finish line after all of this time.
Yeah, you know, and I like the fact that it looks different, but it's not totally so far removed from what the INDYCAR looks like to what it currently looks like. So, you know, it's not like we're losing the identity. You know, not like when we switched from roadsters to rear wheel drive cars and just totally changed the face of the racing. So we're, you know,
it still looks like an INDYCAR, but
looks like an INDYCAR just taking an evolutionary step.
Yeah, it just looks more modern. It looks sleeker, and I mean, I just think it looks faster, and it's going to be faster. So
yeah,
all good.
Yeah, another bit of INDYCAR news. They announced that the Freedom 250 in Washington, D.C., they have decided to extend the racing length to be 250 miles or 170, what was it, 147 laps.
47 laps, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
that 47, but anyway, but the 250 miles on a street circuit, that's going to be brutal for these guys. I mean, by contrast, Long Beach is 177 miles, right? Detroit's 183. Road America, that has plenty of runoff areas, is at 220. That's the longest, you know, non-oval race on the calendar right now. So at 250 miles on a tight street course in dog days of August,
right?
That's going to be kind of brutal. So
yeah, on you know,
so Richard, you're making a face.
Yeah. No, yeah, I've got a guest. If Glenn can't make it,
I see that. Yeah,
we've got to get. She doesn't know much about road racing. She did watch the races with me though.
Is that Keith's snake? Did it make its way over to your house?
Whoa! Let's. Oh boy. Let's. Moving on. Yeah, it's going to be. You know, I think. You know, in all serious, back to the topic. God, I think we just reached a new low there.
That's for the other podcast.
That's saying something as well. No, I think you know, pushing the you know, keep doing all these gimmicks for the INDYCAR race. You know, you wonder who's footing the bill for this, because you see well, and this is the problem.
U.S. taxpayers.
Well, you see that the UFC event that was held at the White House lost $30 million. You know.
Yeah.
Who's footing the bill for this INDYCAR race?
Yeah,
you know,
I've seen a figure that the series expects to be on the hook for about $35 million for this.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. I mean, I don't know what the
lot
cost
of money,
running...
and like you can't. It's not going to be good racing. Like it's just not. First year street courses are never great racing, and yeah, I mean, it's to Frank's point, like it's going to be brutal, man.
Oh, for sure. And I worry that they're doing something for the sake of doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I think, let's be honest. A lot of people were very critical of the NASCAR race at San Diego pre-event, and you know what? It turned out to be a really, 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 really good event. So let's see. Let's not write them off before they get out there. But how long is it until the race now? It's in August, isn't it?
It's August 23rd.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's not a million miles away. I think let's see what happens. But I'm not writing it off straight away. But yeah, I'm sure there's a few of the bean counters at INDYCAR HQ are like, oh boy.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Look, I hope some good comes out of it, right? I hope that like it opens INDYCAR up to an audience that may have not necessarily watched before.
How many times have we said that?
I know, and also like I don't feel like people aren't flying into DC for an INDYCAR race if they've never watched an INDYCAR race before.
No.
You know what I mean? Like it's the same fans that are going to be attending. Like it's not going to be packed with DC locals. Like it's not the entire Congress.
It might be because the tickets were free.
Yeah.
Right, so they've had 100,000 tickets, available by lottery. They had 288 requests and gave out, 100,000 tickets. So it's
288 requests for 100,000 tickets.
288,000 requests for 100,000 tickets.
Oh, okay.
And so
I was getting worried.
I heard it too, Richard.
So they're giving out all 100,000. So you gotta want some of those were DC locals that, hey, I might want to check this out, because all you had to do was, you're not taking money out of your checkbook to.
Yeah, so. I don't know. I just think it's just to Jesse's point, attracting a new audience. Well, the freedom certainly is not. I mean, for any given race, it's a TV audience that counts, no matter what anybody says. Of course, it's good to sell tickets for the event, and it's good to have races sold out, 100%. But, fundamentally, what makes the series and what makes the show is the TV audiences. And they could be racing in the, wherever, and people, people aren't going to watch it on TV just because it's around DC.
Right. And I don't feel like I've
seen... stop them from watching.
I don't feel like I've seen any more or different sort of promotion for that.
No.
I don't know. I know there's like a lot of things going on around this America 250 celebration. I don't know if like people are, is there like a segment of the population that's like tuned in to everything that's going on about America 250 and they're going to turn on the race and watch it? I don't know. To me, it seems like a lot of money out of the series pocket for something that may not have, a great ROI and also may be a shit show.
Okay. I mean, the fact that it's...
one more thought, Rich, and then we're going to take a quick break and let Glenn in.
Okay. So, going back to the comparison with the UFC folks, that's the biggest comparison I've got. Did they, did their viewing figures for the following fights go up because of what they had at the White House? I'd be amazed if they did.
Not. Yeah.
I think it's, dare I say it's somebody's personal, vanity event. And
absolutely. They didn't let any members of the public in the UFC. It was all
military stuff,
all buddies. So
yeah,
right, so we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, Glen Reen will be with us.
Alright, stop, collaborate and listen. I sit back with my brand new invention. Something grabs a hold of me tightly, flow like a harpoon daily and nightly. Will it ever stop? Yo, I don't know. Turn off the lights and I'll glow. Rock a mic like a vandal, light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance, caress a speaker that booms. I'm killing your brain like a poisonous mushroom. Deadly, when I play a dope melody, anything less than the best is a felony. Love it or leave it, you better gain weight. You better hit bullseye, the kid don't play. If there was a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Take out the hook while my DJ revolves it. The party is jumping with the bass kicked in and the Vegas are pumping. Quick to the point, no faking. Cooking them C's like a pound of bacon. Burning them, being quick and nimble. I go crazy when I hear a cymbal and a hi-hat with a souped up tempo. I'm on a roll, it's time to go solo. Rolling in my 5.0 with my rag top down so my hair can blow. The girlies on standby, waiting just to say hi. Did you stop? No, I just drove by, kept on pursuing to the next stop. I busted a left and I'm heading to the next block. The block was dead, yo, so I continued to A1A. Girls were hot, wearing less than bikinis. Rock men lovers, driving Lamborghinis. Jealous, cause I'm out getting mine. Shade with the gauge and vanilla with the 9. Ready for the chumps on the wall. The chumps acting ill because they're full of 8-ball. Gunshots ranged out like a bell. I grabbed my 9, all I heard was shells falling on the concrete real fast. Jumped in my car, slammed on the gas. Bumper to bumper, the avenue's packed. I'm trying to get away before the jack.
All right, and we're back. We're joined by Glen Reen. Glenn, made it through the traffic, made it to your computer. Good to see you.
What's up, guys? Sorry about that.
Yeah.
No, my first question, Glenn, is what sort of racecraft practice did you get from navigating the traffic on the way to our show? I'm sure that was very valuable, right?
I don't know the statute of limitations, so I can't really details. But I was carving them up.
Nice.
Good. All right. So Glenn, since we've seen you last, you did the O'Reilly and the ARCA race. Is that the Glenn?
Just the O'Reilly this year.
Oh, just the O'Reilly? Okay. Yeah. Wikipedia says you finished 4th in the ARCA at the Glen this year.
That was last year.
Okay, they got it listed. And you ran in Atlanta?
Yeah, I just got a call to run Atlanta. That was wild. Atlanta was really cool.
Yeah, talk to us about Atlanta. That's since they redid it, it's become one of my favorite tracks to watch a race at.
So this is wild. Like, I've never seen the place. I've never, other than watching the past couple races there on television, never seen it. I don't even have it downloaded on iRacing. So I think I got the call. I think Joey called me Tuesday, and all day Tuesday was like, all right, can this even work? Because we're in the points hunt at Stafford in the modifieds now. So we're 3rd in points, and I don't want to be like, all right, well, we're going to go run the O'Reilly race, and then I'm going to give up everything that we've worked all year for. So I found a flight out Saturday morning at 6 a.m. from Bradley. And the only reason it worked is because there's super speedway, right? So Atlanta's a super speedway. There's no practice. So it's only qualifying. So I'm like, all right. So I'll just fly in, and I'm like, I'll try to get some time that week or this week on the sim if I can and make it work. Well, never had time. Of course, the work week was like the most insane work week I had. We raced Friday night. We had a rough night. I think we finished 9th or something like that. Struggled all night. And I think we got home at like 11:45 or something like that. And then flew out the next morning at 6. I think I slept 4 hours or 3 hours. Jumped on a plane, flew down there, landed at like 9, got a rental car, got to Atlanta at like 9:35, 9:40. Put the stickers on the car in the garage, and at 10:15 they rolled it out to qualifying. I went and changed and went out to the car at 11, and we qualified. So that first lap was the first time I'd ever seen it. I had to get directions to find pit road because I didn't know how to get there. Went out, and I had talked to Zilich. He spent probably 30 minutes with me. Parker Retzlaff spent about the same. And just basically they're like, dude, you'll be fine. Kansas is way scarier than this place. So I was like, all right. So hauled it off into one. Like they said, just don't lift and wrap the bottom. How hard could it be? And I'm like, well, we'll find out. And I think we qualified 31st. So that was pretty cool.
Were you talking about Kansas in general or the racetrack?
Yeah, the racetrack.
An unrested race car driver is exactly what I want to see hopping into a car at a super speedway that you've never been at before. That's just perfect combination.
Record for how many red flags we had. It was like,
How
what,
does
hour race?
How does the NASCAR licensing work then for super speedways? Because I know for rookies they have to sort of build up to it, but obviously you've done enough races now that you can just rock up and do your thing.
Yeah, so I was cleared ARCA Super Speedway. I was cleared for Daytona, so that already helped me.
Okay, yeah.
Cleared for any 1.5 mile track I wanted to run. So
okay,
once I finished this 1.5 mile, now I have my super speedway license for anything. So it
so
was
you
kind
can
of
go do two.
Which was nice.
So if there's any team owners out there, you could go and do the 500 in February next year. Then
I can do. I know it's any O'Reilly series. I'm sure they would in a cup car. They would maybe hold you back one, but any O'Reilly or truck, I can run anything now.
Well, there you go.
So
excellent.
We're trying to work on sponsorship now for next year because now that I know I have a race, I can go. Okay, let's run Daytona.
Yeah, you've got a marker in the line in the sun there as a reference, don't you?
Right. So, but that track was really cool. I learned a lot about aero. So I was like, I can't wait to ask Richard all these questions.
So side drafting is a real thing then.
Also, putting yourself in a bad aero position is bad. That's why I spun out. I was like, oh, that's why you can't do that. Got it.
Yeah, everything you learn, and when we sort of try and map this into our simulator or wind tunnel data, it's a minefield because you've got so many variables in a race scenario when there's other cars around. You can if you think about the old Days of Thunder where he's stood there like caressing the body and talking about aero and all that sort of stuff. Well, that's great if you're the only car on track.
Yeah,
but you put another 35 wired individuals out on the racetrack.
A lot of dirty air
with a very, very heavy right foot. It's it's a completely different world.
I think my biggest problem was I didn't realize, I knew you needed air on the nose. Well, 2 cars went in like this, so there was a gap. So I came up the middle behind both of them to get some air on the nose. But what I didn't realize is I should have been higher because then I would have had air on the right side of the car.
Yeah.
Because I was down almost a full groove or, half a groove. The air coming around the outside of it never got to my right rear quarter and it just stepped out.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, that's a bad aero spot. Okay, that's what they're talking about. As you're sideways at 180, you're like,
now I get it.
So that's what you're talking about.
All right, where's the reset button on iRacing? I get it now.
Like the scene from Beautiful Mind, there's all these like equations going on in your head. Oh yeah, no, they're and of course actually Jess was we were talking last week. There's a massive difference between because I think Jess was at Indy for the Brickyard weekend.
Yeah,
and
that must have been awesome.
the almost 180 degrees from an aero or a car setup perspective between the O'Reilly car and the Cup car. With the O'Reilly car, it's all on the front end. Get the splitter on the ground. Run. You got to be running the splitter. Fraction of a millimeter off the ground. Whereas in the Cup car, it's all about rear end and getting the diffuser sealed and getting the diffuser back. So running anti-rake, as you'd call it, and the O'Reilly car runs positive rake. Right. And the fascinating how, and I think that's why you mentioned guys like Connor Zilic are maybe struggling to come to terms with the Cup cars because. They are so different, and as he grows and gains experience, obviously it'll come to him. But they're a unique race car right now.
Yeah, he's one of the nicest kids too. He is amazing.
Oh
So Glenn, we were talking about this last week a little bit, and I mentioned that it seems like guys coming out of the Truck Series seem to find success quicker in the Cup Series than guys coming out of O'Reilly. And Richard gave me his thoughts on why that is. And I'm just kind of curious if you've noticed the same thing, or if I'm just way off base with that, or if there's something to that.
The only thing I can think of, I know trucks have a ton of side force, right? Because it's basically like a billboard. And the Cup car probably has a lot of downforce because of the rear splitter. So they're probably finding the same comfort, I'm guessing. And one has side force, the other one has downforce. But it's portrayed driving it, I'm guessing, similar, where the O'Reilly car has no rear downforce, the spoiler is like very non-existent, and it's very tail happy all the time. So it's harder and has no side force in comparison to either of the two. Like the truck has massive side force. You can do a lot of things that you cannot do in an O'Reilly car. And I've never driven a Cup car yet, but I'm sure the amount of downforce they're making with that diffuser negates the side force. You know what I mean? That's my only guess.
You've never driven a Cup car, never hopped in.
I noticed how he said yes.
Yeah, I'm happy to drive one. I just haven't done one yet. I also haven't driven a truck yet, so that's also I'd be happy to run Loudon in a couple weeks. I just
I like you used the phrase tail happy.
Mm-hmm.
I described the trucks at IRP as slidey. Just, very, very technical terms.
Yeah.
But we all know what we're talking about.
I understood you.
Glenn, this is something we talked about, I think, when you were on last time, but I've continued to see it in these, big national races that we get to watch you in. You just run a very smart race, and I feel like you display an incredible amount of patience just in like, sort of hanging back and like staying out of trouble, getting aggressive when it counts, making sure you're there at the end. And I was saying to Keith a couple weeks ago, I feel like patience is not really a word that's in a lot of racing drivers' vocabularies, even though it, obviously has benefits. I wonder, like, what do you attribute that to? Like, are you just like by nature kind of a patient, even keel person? Okay, so this is like a strategy that you have to work on.
It's 20 years of getting in trouble by your car owners and finally going. I think they call it growing up, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah.
But it's two things, right? Like at Stafford, I'm much more aggressive because I know my place. I know what I can and can't do. These cars, I'm still learning what I can and can't do. So is there going to be a day where I'm going to be more aggressive? Probably. But at the same time, I also understand that Joey calls me in a damage control situation, right? So like in the situation I had, Natalie Decker was supposed to be in the car. Unfortunately, her sponsor fell out. So I get the phone call last minute. Well, I know he needs that car to finish in one piece. So it's like, you don't even know, but we were running like, I think it was 12th at the time. And I want to say there was like 18 laps to go or something like that. And Joey come over to radio and he was like, hey, great job so far. There's only 19 cars on the lead lap. Let's fall to the back. And I'm like, you're breaking up, man. I can't hear you. And he was like, oh, shit. So nonetheless, the kid that we let go, I think at that point, I'm pretty sure he was 13th and I was 12th. And I pulled down, let everyone go. And then he wound up finishing 6th. So then there was like that, what would have happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand he needs that car next week for Indy. So there was a lot of patience and there was a lot of humbling, if you will. Like there was a part of me that was like, I could see it. It was like I could almost touch it. It was right there. But at the same time, I know if I do that, I may never get a phone call ever again. So I gotta be, it's hard. There's only a handful of people that knew that before this interview, but it was everyone's like, oh man, 15's awesome. And I'm like,
yeah,
could have been better. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't tell you it could have been better, but it could have been better.
Could have been a lot worse as well.
Correct. And it could have been destroyed. So, and that's guess too. But I think a lot of that is, I'm learning in that series, right? I have so much to learn. I was always, when I jumped up a division, I was taught by the old guys, which was pretty cool, like Reggie Ruggiero and Jamie Tomeno. And I remember in the first year I ran the tour car, the Wheel and Modified Tour, I jumped up from SK Lights and I thought I was this big shot jumping up and like, right? Well, Jamie Tomeno, I'll never forget it. He pulled me out of that car after a race and went up one side of me, down the other. You ever run someone like that again, I'm going to knock you out. And I was like, okay. From that point on, I realized like you are going to respect these boys up here. So same thing. Like, I don't want to be the kid that comes in and, I earn their respect and I'm not giving it. So And even Allgaier said it too. He's like, dude, it's great. Every time you're running, he's like, I know when you're in the 35. Because at Dover, whoever was in the 35, I guess, cost him the win, he was explaining to me. So he's like, I knew you weren't in the car that week, which was pretty cool. But no, it's tough. You got to earn your keep, right? Like I'm not in a car that's capable to run up front, so I'm not going to do that stuff right now. But the cars I'm going to race around out where we're racing, I'm not going to lay over and let them go, but I'm not going to make it the end all be all to, fight everything for 29th.
Right. Well, and like you said, like you are getting calls in these damage control situations, right? Because like folks know that you are someone who can do what you can do with the car and bring it home in one piece. And the more opportunities that you get to show that, like,
correct,
that leads to other things.
Get more calls, and like maybe we can get a sponsor where like then you can get a leased motor where like now we can run up farther. Where Richard, hook it up, buddy. Come on.
I wish I could.
I talked to Sam Hunt. Like, when are you going to give me a shot, dude?
Yeah, they're
Richard's
good
useless. Glenn, you'll find this. Richard is just useless. Okay, so don't ask him for anything. It's not going to
There's a cat. Watch out.
Yeah. Yeah,
The cat's running away
just
from
thought
my
it was
snake.
Keith's snake.
Yeah. Okay.
So Glenn, we've got a couple of questions that were submitted by some of your social media followers. I got two questions here from a guy who goes by, or a guy or a gal, I don't want to assume a gender, Nightwolf 9088. Mysterious Nightwolf. But the questions from Nightwolf are, what's your least favorite track? And then do you prefer racing the mods or racing the NASCAR series?
So I'm going to start with, because the least favorite track is going to take a minute. I got to figure out which one that is. But it's really tough. Like, if you're going on the handling of the car, I would say hands down the modified, because they're like a big go-kart with a ton of horsepower. They'll go anywhere you want them to. They turn on a dime. They stop on a dime. They go on a dime. They have so much side bite. It's unbelievable. And the racing is great. Like, I mean, you're door-to-door banging on the guy, and you can still maintain position, and you're not worried about, fender rubs or any of this. Like, yes, you can rip wheels off, but you get the gist of it. However, there's an equally exciting part of it where you're going to Atlanta and you're racing these cars, not manhandling them like a modified, but strategically placing them and other cars arrow-wise. So if I have to pick one, I guess I would say modifieds, but they're
totally
equally
different.
Right. They're equally cool in their own ways. Like, if we're going to go run Martinsville, right? And you're saying, okay, you can run Martinsville in a modified, or you can run Martinsville in a O'Reilly's car, hands down modified. Like, we're not even talking the same. But if you're saying like, okay, modified at a half mile, and then you're going to go to a mile and a half, like, Miami's my dream. I want to go to Miami. I want to go to Homestead. I just think that's so cool. Where like you go up and then everyone just splits into two different lines, and then you all come back in the line. Like, I want to run a race like that because it just looks so much fun. So the strategic part of that is where I think that's really cool. Least favorite racetrack, I got this love-hate for Thompson. So I have my biggest career win there, but I have my two biggest crashes there. So if they put safer barriers up, I would say I like it more, but I hate hitting at Thompson.
All right, good. Now Jessica had her first experience watching modified cars last weekend, although they were dirt modifieds.
Yes, but I was set straight that they were different. Those are different vehicles.
Yeah.
But I did want to ask you about this, Glenn. So, so I went to a dirt track for the first time this past weekend.
Did you get an ice cream over there?
What's that?
You get an ice cream cone while you were there?
I did not.
You got to be careful, because I got an ice cream once at a dirt track, and I was like, I don't remember getting Jimmy's.
Oh.
And then it was dirt.
Ew.
I was like, what the hell?
So I knew nothing about what I was about to see. And I couldn't remember if Glenn had dirt racing in his background or not. So I reached out to Glenn before I went to the track because if he did have that experience, I wanted to sort of pick his brain for a minute and see, what I should be looking out for. So I sent him a message and I asked, hey, have you ever done this before? I would like to read to you all, dear listeners, the response that I got from our friend Glen Reen. He says, and I quote, "I raced 2 sprint car races on dirt, finished second and first. Then I said, this shit's too crazy. I choose life."
Yep.
So now I need to know more. What were the circumstances where you did race?
It's just wild.
On dirt.
Those things, right? They're insane.
Yeah. But like, is this something that you did early in your career and realized you never want to do again? Or was this just like a one-off thing?
2010, I think it was. Don't get me wrong. Like, I had a blast, but I also watched like 15 people flail the car through the air that night and take a catch fence down. And I'm like,
this is insane.
I don't know if I want to do this. Like, now everyone was okay, but I'm still like, that doesn't look fun to me. Like, rebuilding that car every week, not to mention like washing it every week, looks horrible. Like, I'm going to pass on this. The other funny thing was I drove it like a modified, so I got yelled at the whole time. Lap 1, I'm going in the corner, and they're all telling me, like, you drive them like a jet ski. Like, the second you get off the throttle, it won't turn. So you got to like stay on the throttle and pedal it and turn it. And I'm like, yeah, I got it. Lap 1, I come off the wall and drive it right to the bottom of the racetrack, and it just doesn't turn. Like a right front flat. And then I'm like halfway in the corner. I'm like, oh, you got to floor it. And then all of a sudden it's like right off the corner. Yeah, I'm like, all right, I'm going to fix it next time. Same thing. And I keep complaining. I'm like, dude, this car does not turn. He's like, well, you're driving like a modified. Once you stop, he's like, do not lift at the end of the straightaway. I'm like, I'm sorry.
This is a you problem.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell did you just say? Like, don't lift at all. He's like, don't lift. I'm like, I don't want to end up like these schmucks flying through the air. They're like, don't lift. Okay. You know how hard it is to not lift at the end of a half mile when you're,
I can't imagine.
Or a third, 3/8 mile, whatever the hell it was. Like, I was scared shitless. And then all of a sudden it's like, and I was like, oh, I get it now. And then I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm all set. Thank you.
Those people are legitimately insane.
Out of here. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It was very cool though.
Did you watch the wing sprint cars, like the silver, what are they? The World Outlaw cars?
Yes. It wasn't World of Outlaws, but yeah, a division of that.
The sprint or the modifieds or the late models?
Yeah, it was UMP dirt car modifieds.
Okay.
And then the KKM midgets.
Okay. So the
All
first
that shit is so loud. It's so loud.
Big block.
And yes, I thought somebody was tumbling over the catch fence every lap. One thing that I did notice though is that like it's crazy to me for as primitive as those cars look, like especially the midgets, like they're so safe. Like the number of times that you see somebody, upside down on the cage, but like they pop out of there like nothing happened.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible.
It is nuts. And it's nuts too. Like when I remember, like we're making adjustments, I'm like, the car is just a little too loose, right? So they close up stagger by like 3 inches. And I'm like, whoa, dude. Like we don't need I'm like, I need like this much. And they're like, yeah, 3 inches is a small change. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like in the race car, like if we're off by a quarter, it's from winning to losing. Like there is, they're like, yeah, we just brought it back from 12 inches of stagger to 9. You should be fine. I'm like, what the hell?
That's crazy.
But I remember the time I went to one.
This is why I love doing things like this, because like to so many people out there that are just casual fans of racing, like all of these little nuanced differences between the different series and the different types of cars, like people have no idea.
You have to go see all of them. Like whether you like it or not, you got to just try it because you'll have no clue until I couldn't believe it. We went to watch the World Outlaws up in Lebanon Valley, New Hampshire, or Lebanon Valley, New York. And I remember my uncle being like, you got to see these guys. Like, they don't lift. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Of course. It's a 5/8 mile, right? They're sure. First guy comes out in qualifying, he lifts. I'm like, told you. Second guy comes out in qualifying, he lifts. I'm like, huh. Yeah, Steve Kinzer comes out. He leaves the gate, clamps it, does a wheelie, goes all the way down the front stretch, never lifted. And I was like, at that moment, I realized that I am the biggest wimp you were ever going to meet. Because he turned to me, he goes, if you were handed $1 million right now to get in his car, but you had to make 2 laps without lifting, could you do it? I'm like, probably not. I don't think my right foot would listen to my brain.
Yeah.
Like it just, I think they were doing 160 at the end of the straightaway, and it was so humid you could see the vapor trail coming off the wing. And I was like, no. And there was like a chain link fence on the outside. Like it was like from 1930.
Yikes.
Like I was like, I don't feel like any of that.
Big yikes.
Yeah. Is going to stop me or help me or save me or.
I will say though, this track that I went to over the weekend, it's in Belleville, Illinois. It's called Belle Claire Speedway. It's a historic track. It was originally opened in like the 50s, and it closed during COVID and maybe even a little bit before COVID. And you know, it's pretty remarkable. Like you don't see local tracks like that close and then come back.
Yeah.
But it
a
was
lot of them just go away.
Yeah. It's the team over at Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway, Curtis Francois and Chris Blair, the owner and promoter. They bought this old dilapidated speedway and they brought it back to life, and it's absolutely incredible. And I mean, I'll certainly be there.
Time I'm out there, I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah, absolutely. It was quite entertaining.
I took my mom this year to the Top Fuel dragsters.
Oh,
I still haven't done that.
You got to do it.
You have.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I describe it as like when you're 16 or 17 and you go into a nightclub for the first time. That it just like overwhelms your senses. You can feel it in your chest.
Yeah.
When you see a Top Fuel dragster just launch, and it's like
your organ.
Wow. Oh yeah.
Inside. It's nuts.
Yeah. My wife, bless her, she won't watch any racing on TV. She hates racing on TV. But I'm very lucky, even working in the industry, we get some, tickets to a few events. And obviously now Toyota's no longer involved in NHRA. But when we were, we'd go down to the 4 wides or the 2 wides down at Charlotte, on a pretty regular basis. And the great thing about NHRA is you can just walk around the pits and, chat with the guys and whatever. And of course, they rebuild those engines after every run. It is crazy to watch them work. And, they do a fire up with these things, and there's got some pretty nasty fuels in that thing. And I'm stood there, and like my throat's burning, and I can feel it going down my chest. My wife's like, like leaning in the freaking valve cover as they're like running these engines over. I'm like, girl, you're going to like give yourself a good Lord. But yeah, it's of all the racing series I've been to, it is the most like wow a factor.
I was talking to one of the guys and he said they burn 7 gallons just in their warm-up fire. They burn 7.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And their tire life is like 1.3 miles or something.
Yeah.
Not real.
I thought I had it bad, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, but yeah, Jess, you've got to go. You've got to go.
I've been saying that for 2 years now.
Have you guys?
I usually try to check out anything I can. I mean, I went to tractor pulls at the county fair the other week, and I'm like, this is kind of fun, actually.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. There is a drag strip at Gateway, isn't there, Jess? Right behind the back. Yeah, I thought so.
Yep.
Yeah, get yourself there. I mean, you don't have to. You can stand within 3 miles of the place and still hear it. So
for sure.
You don't have to be there.
Yep. That's for damn sure.
You could probably get credentials for Gateway for the NHRA.
Yeah, I might give that a shot.
We're trying. We talked with Jack Arute last week, and we were kind of putting together some stuff. I'm like, Jess is going to go nuts. But we're trying to get Tony Kanaan to come run the SK at Stafford. So we're trying to put that together. I don't know. We'll see. I also asked Zilich to see if he wanted to come up and run it. So
I feel like Tony Kanaan is a guy that would probably jump in anything.
Well, he told Jack Arute, because the Arutes own Stafford Speedway, and Jackie was friends with Tony, so him and Kanan have been talking about like, oh, you got to get in a modified. And he's like, I've been wanting to get in one for years. So we're trying to put something together. We'll see. I don't know if his schedule will work and our schedule works, but we're trying.
Yeah, McLaren keeps him pretty busy.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, that'd be interesting. But Tony, he fills up in anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's
Brazilian stock cars for a little while.
Yeah, it's open wheel, so it's kind of up his alley, right? Like,
yeah,
close. But I'm like, we're gonna have to teach him that he can use the wing. Like, what was the wing is now a chrome horn. You can use that all. Don't be careful with that one.
I have a feeling he would be a quick study on that.
Oh yeah. Realistically, any driver. Like we were talking about the other night. Like, if you could pick one driver from the Cup Series that you think would adapt to the modifieds, who do you think? And I think my pick was Larson because like he just jumps in everything and goes immediately.
That's cheating. You can't use that as an answer. That's not fair.
So I think Zilich would do really well. And Bell I think would do very well at it. But I think those are kind of our picks. But I really want Zilich to come when he comes to New Hampshire. But I don't know if he'll be allowed to come down or has enough time or any of that stuff. So we'll see how it all pans out. But we're sitting third in points right now, 2 points out of second and 40 points out of first. So my teammates leading, we're in third. So we're just slowly chiseling away at it. But we're going this Friday to the Napa 5K. So it's a 100 lapper. It's 5,000 to win. And it's also the third race of a Triple Crown they're doing. And we're leading that point. So a lot on the line Friday night. So
wow.
Wish us luck.
Yeah,
You can watch it on
luck to you.
Do you guys have Flow Racing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can watch
do.
Stafford every Friday night if you want.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. I'll
That's
do that. Ooh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
How many races are left in the season?
10. We got 10
Okay.
left.
So you
Yeah.
got time.
Yeah, we got time. It's also, right, it's a catch-22. You got time to
Other
lose,
people have time too.
to win it.
Yeah.
I always like getting the points lead and then be like, all right, let's rain out the rest of the season. Let's be done with this.
Yeah. Stop the count.
Yeah.
Right. But no, it was, so last week was wild. We found a bad camshaft, bad lobe on the camshaft last week. And we had right before practice, unfortunately. We should have checked at the shop. Shame on us for not. So it was our own fault. But it was really cool that we had a competitor of mine who we are racing into points right now. There's like 10 points between us. Lend me a motor. So my car owner went to his shop, grabbed a motor. I yarded one out while they were out. We got it back in and we missed both practices, went out in the heat race, won the heat race, and then finished third in the feature with a borrowed motor from a guy. And I felt bad when I had to pass him in the feature. I felt so bad. I'm like, oh, come on. I'm like, just go faster. But
I think I don't know. I'm pretty competitive. I probably wouldn't, but in an ideal world, you want to be competing against people at their best. You don't want to win because somebody else had a busted car, right? So I think that's cool.
What was really cool to me too, his name's Tado and he's 3-time champion there. I mean, he's a good character, right? So I couldn't have done it without him. So it was a blessing to see. And then to see how many teams came over that I unfortunately don't. I mean, I know that person, but I don't know their name. You know what I mean? I know who they are. I know they're on, team such and such, but I don't know his actual name. I've seen his face 1,000 times. He's over there helping us, grabbing tires, putting it on. Hey guys, do you want me to jack this up? And it's just it's so cool to see all of these people coming and helping us that don't need to. You know what I mean? It was very heartwarming, and not to sound super over the top, but it was just blessing beyond what I ever thought. So it was really cool.
That's cool.
Yep, it's a small world. You always find that. Even at the top, even in the Formula One world, we used to do that. If you're at a test and you had a part, obviously the parts aren't common, but some of the connectors or whatever, you'd go down the, knock on the, hey, you got one of these connectors we can borrow. We're going to choose one up. Oh yeah, because know full well that if the boot's on the other foot and you're in the shit, you'd help them out, sort of thing. So the only team you couldn't do that with is McLaren.
Why?
Because their team manager would be straight off to your team manager saying, "We're not a charity. We don't lend gift." That was the old Ron Dennis way. If you're not prepared to bring enough spares, what's not my problem? Oh, fucking
Well, I
hell.
mean, he's right. You know.
Yeah.
Way to blow him up, Richard.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, hey, truth hurts. But yeah, no, that's unfortunately that was McLaren's. Yeah. They had this mentality that everything they did had to be first. They had to be the best at everything they did. So like, getting on a plane at an airport, they were the first people on the plane. Getting, they were the first people to the track in the morning. They were the first people to get to the hotel. They'd always got the best rooms in the hotel and all this sort of stuff. It's like
that's too much.
There is the concept of like a winning mentality for sure, but that was a little bit much.
They would hate my mentality. I like slept in a car on the way to the airport in order to get to
Well, there's the whole story about when Adrian Newey joined McLaren, as this big, designer guru. He repainted the office from grey to blue, and Ron Dennis was like on the verge of firing him.
Yeah.
Because everything had to be grey. Everything had to be grey in the McLaren Technology Centre, and he painted it blue. And it was only Ron Dennis's wife that persuaded him not to.
That's wild.
So,
all right, so we've only got a couple of minutes left, and we just got a couple of topics to plow through here.
Let's do it.
And we've got to make our picks and stuff. So I do want to mention that this week marked the 20th anniversary of the film Talladega Nights being released. And when NASCAR gets to Talladega in October, they're going to do a Talladega Nights theme kind of thing there. So that'll be interesting to see. I mean, will we see the laughing
They're going to get the drivers
liquor
kissing each
car?
other.
I'd love to see that. I'm sure we'll see the Wonder Bread and the Old Spice, right?
Big Newtons on your windshield.
Yeah. So
which two drivers are going to kiss on the start-finish line? That's what I want to know.
Byron.
Wow.
Chase Elliott.
Wow. Straight in there.
Wow.
Hey, that's what I hear.
We're holding nothing back today.
Yeah. So,
oh boy.
So speaking of NASCAR, they've got most of their schedules out. The Clash is returning to Daytona, which will make all the old timers happy. After a couple of years at LA and Bowman Gray, now we're bringing it back to Daytona, where a lot of people feel it belongs, and I think it's a great way to kick off the season as well. Also announced Phoenix will once again be a doubleheader for the IndyCars and Cup cars share the weekend. So that's that was very successful last year. I'm glad we're bringing that back.
That was cool.
It's the one thing since Penske took over IndyCar, there's just more of a opportunity to collaborate with NASCAR, with Penske being a prominent NASCAR team owner as well. So we're seeing more and more of this cooperation. And it really started during the pandemic when they started the doubleheader weekends at the road course at Indy.
Yeah.
So
and I love the doubleheader at St. Pete with NASCAR trucks. That was really cool.
Yep. And the trucks will be at St. Pete again next year as well.
Yep.
I'm excited.
I'm putting Phoenix back on my my wish list for next year. I want to go to that
Great
one.
place to go.
I'm
Have you ever raced there, Glenn?
No, not yet. I was trying to, but I'm excited for this DC race. I think that's going to be interesting.
That's going to be interesting to watch.
You missed our
we were just talking about that.
We were talking about that when you were
on.
stuck in traffic. So
sorry. I almost went to San Diego. Joey called me, but I couldn't make it because I had to race Stafford. So he wanted me for San Diego and Sonoma, but I couldn't get. I could do San Diego, but I couldn't do Sonoma, and he wanted the same driver in both. So thankfully, Brad Perez, who's a good friend of mine, he got it, and he did very well. I think you saw his foot out the window during the red flag. Did you see that?
Oh,
that sounds
remember
familiar.
that. Yeah.
That's Brad. Yeah. Brad's the man.
That's
He's awesome.
Funny.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So NASCAR in Iowa this week. Go around with picks. I picked Blaney. Richard, you picked
Bell.
And Jessica.
Now, if you remember last week, what worked out for me was doing bad puns and doing something kitschy with my picks. So I went with
let's hear it.
Another B, because you guys both went with Blaney and Bell. So I picked Byron.
Okay, there you go. All right, Glenn, who do you like for Iowa?
I'm going to have to go with Reddick.
Reddick, okay, good choice. Reddick hadn't won a race in a while. Started out strong, won the first 4. And
I was gonna pick Bell because Bell's really good at Iowa, but he already picked him, and I was gonna do something different. So I think he's on the verge of like just capping it off again. So I think he's a good pick.
I think it was Reddick we tested with in Iowa this year with 2311. So he's got a little bit of experience with that place relatively recently. So he could be, he's probably not a bad shout.
Yeah, he could be tough to beat. So, all right, IndyCar heading to Portland. For the life of me, I still don't know why they don't. The festival curves at Portland always creates a wreck on the lap 1. You know, my whole idea is they move the start line to the back straight to kind of break the cars up a little bit. But you know, my idea was always to like, hey, skip the festival curves on lap 1, just go straight through the chicane, and then lap 2 pick it up. But nobody listens to me.
Let them get thrown out a little bit. No.
Yeah. But anyway, that's always a feature of Portland. But I mean, other than the first lap wreck, it is one of my favorite tracks on the calendar. So, and I picked Chris Lundgaard, who's been pretty tough to beat on road courses this year. And Richard, you went with
Alex Palou, I believe.
Yep, because you have the first pick. So yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, it's hard to pick against Palou at any track on the schedule. I mean,
it is.
The guy's just that good. Yeah. So, and Jessica.
So we're in Portland. The motto of Portland is "Stay weird." The weirdest driver that I can think of is Will Power. He also happened to win at Portland last year. So I went with Slick Willie P.
There you go. Yeah, and he's really feeling more comfortable over at Andretti now, and Portland's one of his favorite tracks as well. So there's no reason to think that's a bad pick at all.
Yep.
So, Glenn, any thoughts on the IndyCar race in Portland?
I'm going to have to pick Power because that's his place. That's his home.
Yeah.
Like, he owns that track.
Yeah.
But
I
do
do
agree
very
with
cool track.
Road course. Like my buddy's flying out there today. He's running the INDYCAR race out there. And that chicane is very rough on lap. Like you remember Zilich won that race because they knew taking that was going to work better than going through that, and he still wound up winning. So
yeah,
hopefully someone in IndyCars can figure that out. Well, they can't come to they can come to a complete stop. Just put the clutch in. Just don't stall it.
Remember when Scott Dixon got messed up in it, and then like everybody else had to get towed out of there, but Scott Dixon, having all of the luck in the world, emerged from like a cloud of smoke and just like went on about his merry way.
Yeah, and won the race.
Scott Dixon. Yeah.
I mean, Dixon's another guy who hasn't won a race this year, and we're talking, he hasn't gone winless in a season since 2004. So
he was my pick.
He's running out of races. So
yeah, he was my pick the first show we were on, and I'm like, he's letting me down.
Yeah.
That's all right. His McLaren contract will more than make up for it next year.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he has money in the bank. So, all right, that does have us out of time. Glen Reen, I want to thank you for coming on. Wishing you the best of luck with that championship in Stafford. Guys, you can find Glenn on social media, Glen Reen, or Glenn with one N, Reen with two E's. Is it Glen Reen Racing?
Instagram is Reen Racing 17, and then Facebook's just Glen Reen.
Okay, all right. So
Glen _Reen.
Glen _Reen. Okay. So yeah, so go ahead and look them up. Till next week, I want to thank Sinista1 Productions, our fine producer, Mr. Keith Hayes. I want to thank the ERA Racing Association, the Grey.Universe with their film Kaiser, USA Sports, NASCAR Americana coming out. Thank you to Spotify, YouTube, Facebook Live, Apple Podcast, Linktree, X, all that good stuff. But most of all, I want to thank you folks that tuned in and listened. I hope you had a good time. I know we certainly did. But until next week, good night.
See you guys.
Thanks for watching Drafting the Circuits. Make sure to follow Drafting the Circuits on Facebook, Spotify, Twitter, and YouTube. Drafting the Circuits is a Sinista1 production.